Bitcoin is digital energy. It's digital capital, right? And I'm telling you, I think it's worth $10 trillion. And I'm saying if you have an economic problem, if you were running a factory and you were in debt, and I came to you in 1900 and you said, well, Mike, what should I do? I'm thinking about cutting the wages of all my employees, making them work twice as hard and whipping them occasionally, and then barking at the
It's a
customers
great
and
strategy.
denurturing the product because that's what I need to do to stay in business. What do you think? I would say, well, Tom, I'm an engineer. What I think is I'm really interested by what this Edison guy is doing with electricity. And I think you can rip out the coal, the coal powered steam engine in your factory and maybe electrify it. And then I think you ought to look at what Henry Ford did with the assembly line and the internal combustion engine. And maybe instead of whipping the people in your horseless carriage buggy whip factory and then, and then begging a politician to buy your buggy whips and your horseless carriages, maybe you ought to invent a car, and maybe you ought to do it with electricity, and maybe you ought to use this physics, and then maybe it'll be such a delightful product that demand for the product will go through the roof. And that's what I think about this. I think that Bitcoin is a digital technology that solves an economic problem that's worth trillions of dollars. I don't think it cures cancer. I don't think it'll stop wars. People had wars after electricity and clean water. I'm just pointing out that Henry VIII dies of gout because he didn't have clean water. And of all the things that Henry VIII would have liked to have bought with all of his power, and he was the most powerful man in the UK, he would have liked that, right? This thing we take for granted, this thing that makes us go from living 32 years to living 80 years. Clean capital, clean money, digital money, high frequency, programmable money. It is a protocol for prosperity. And I think that if you're looking for a politically sound strategy, the most politically sound strategy is not to tell people that austerity is the solution or bludgeon them to death. It's just to introduce a new technology that delights and enriches everyone and spreads like wildfire.